Hey, gang, it's me, Dr. Steve. And let me ask you, what is your opinion of Big Pharma? Dare I ask? Well, as you know, Big Pharma is one of the more nefarious and unethical groups in the DC swamp, and it goes way beyond just pushing vax mandates. Get this. Last month, one of their top employees was arrested and charged with security frauds. You ready for this? He made a 3,000% return in less than a week. It'd be pretty amazing if we could have access to that kind of insider information as well, wouldn't it? Well, what do you know? We basically do. I'm once again joined by my good friend, Ross Givens. You might remember Ross from previous episodes where we exposed some of the biggest insider traders in Congress. Ross is leading expert on insider trading. But what I love so much about Ross is he doesn't just expose these guys and the ugly truth about insider trading. Ross actually turns around and shows all of us how we can do the same thing perfectly legally and ethically. He both exposes and equips, and he's here once again with us to walk us through what happened of late and explain how patriots like us can fight back and actually profit from these events ourselves. Ross, welcome back, man. Great to see you again.
Dr. Steve, my fellow capitalist, always good to see you, bud.
Oh, it's awesome to see you, man. So, yeah, walk us through this Pfizer thing. What recently happened here? I mean, it's just the latest example of what you call blatant insider trading by these swamp rats. Take us through what happened.
Yeah, and really, all you have to do in any case is follow the money. So, as you know, a lot of our politicians, they're puppets. They are bought and paid for by donors, by special interests. One of those is the pharmaceutical industry.
Right.
2/3 of Congress receives campaign donations from pharmaceutical companies, 2 out of 3. And the biggest pharma donor was Pfizer. They gave the most money as a whole. They donated the greatest number of campaigns. They gave money to 228 members of Congress between the House and Senate. And that's on top of the 2,400 state legislators they funded in the 2020 election. So at a minimum, there is a big conflict of interest there for these politicians who are making decisions on a national health issue. And unfortunately, as you talked about a lot that was going on, we saw this play out during COVID. You know, we, the taxpayers, we funded the COVID-19 vaccine research. $18 billion of U.S. funds went to Moderna, to Johnson & Johnson, a lot of these other guys get the vaccine out. They rushed the thing to market. No randomized double-blind trials, no proof that prevented infection, no evidence that it even slowed the transmission. And guess who pays for it?
Right.
We do, again. Right. Government buys 400 million doses of the Pfizer vaccine at $39 a piece. 200 million doses of the Moderna vaccine at $30 a piece. So quick math here, $21 billion. $21 billion of our dollars to buy a drug that we paid to develop. The thing, it didn't even work, right? They got people losing their jobs. They're mandating this thing to kids. So we're just seeing this. It's corruption playing out at the highest possible level on a scale that I could have never even imagined before.
Wow. But what's fascinating is that wasn't enough, right? I mean, so you've got billions of profits at the expense of American patriots, and it still didn't satisfy the greed, as it were, because a pharma insider actually just got arrested for insider.
Oh, right.
Trading.
Sorry, I didn't even talk about that. Yeah. So here's what happened, right? So the FDA just granted full approval to this new COVID antiviral pill. It's called Paxlovid, developed by Pfizer. Surprise, surprise. It's basically just Tamiflu, but for COVID. So you take it within 5 days of the infection, reduces the severity of symptoms. Well, unlike other vaccines, or unlike the COVID vaccines, Paxlovid did go through the randomized double-blind treatment studies, et cetera, et cetera. So on November 5th, 2021, all right, Pfizer announced big success with these drug trials. Well, the day before that announcement, on November the 4th, a Pfizer employee named Amit Dagar made a little investment. So Dagar, he is a senior statistical programming lead at Pfizer. Basically, he's on the team that compiles and organizes all the data during his clinical trials. So he knew the results were good. He knew Pfizer was going to announce it the next day. And he knew that Pfizer stock would skyrocket when that happened. So what he did, he bought a bunch of short-term out of the money call options on Pfizer stock. And this is basically a highly, highly leveraged bet that a stock is going to make a very big move in a very short amount of time. You wouldn't do that unless you were sure it was going to.
Right,
And of course
right.
it did. And as you said, he made a profit of more than 3,000% on that trade in just a few days. They also found out he tipped off his buddy, who he called like within an hour of making his, also made a similar trade. He hit it big too. So they just arrested both of them last month on securities fraud.
Oh my! I mean, it's so bad. One of the reasons why, again, Ross, I love your work because just listening to that makes everyone's blood boil to think that our tax dollars even help to create conditions like that where people are profiting illegally. But what I love about your work is you actually show people how to use this information legally and ethically for their own advantage. Can you explain that? Again, like I say, I think you expose and you equip.
Right.
So you could take this anger, as it were, and use it as motivation for action.
Yeah, and you and I talk about this all the time off camera. It's not enough to be angry. You have to do something about it. And you can either sit there and whine and say, this isn't fair, and hold a picket sign, or you can fight back. And a lot of people don't realize this, but there's a little loophole in the SEC law called the 10b5-1 rule. And essentially, it allows these corporate insiders, CEOs, CFOs, vice presidents, board members, to buy and sell their company stock freely, as long as they report those trades within 48 hours. So it's a little loophole for them to get around insider trading. But what people don't realize is that's public information. Right. So we can see those records immediately. I can scan the market at any time and see exactly what stocks these insiders are buying right now and just follow along. So it's basically a completely legal inside tip. And I always say it is probably the best kept secret on Wall Street.
But it's so, I mean, to me, I remember when you first explained this to me and I was just blown away. And then I talked to some other people about it and they said, oh yeah, no, we knew about this SEC database and the like. But then I remember them saying, but it's hard it's like hard to track and access. It's complicated and so forth. And this is where you come in, is that?
Yeah, so the SEC doesn't make it easy, right? They're going to post it on a web. But if you look at the database, it looks like it was designed by some high school kid in 1994. Like you've got to search one stock at a time, dig through all these corporate filings. So I've got some software I had built with a programmer that can scan all of these. We put into a format you can actually use it. And that's what I do. And I train people on this. We hold these free training sessions. I show them how to find it, what to look for, what trades you want to ignore, which ones are really good. So things like, cluster buying. If you have, one executive buying, that could be a fluke. But if two board members and the vice president and the CFO and the CEO are all going in for $500,000 a piece, and that's like, there's probably something there, so we show them the things to look for to find those stocks that are the highest probability of making those big moves. And we've had a lot of success. As you know, I've been doing this publicly as a service since 2017. We've never had a losing year. We've had years where just our stock portfolio returns as much as 250%. Wow. We've recommended stocks that have risen as much as 1,900%. They don't all do that, but you don't need too many 1,900% wins to have a heck of a year, heck of a decade. So it's been a lot of fun. It's been very rewarding work, like you said, to just empower other people to do this, to fight back and take this unfair advantage they have, use it for themselves to profit for them and their families.
It's amazing stuff. We've done a bunch of free trainings with you. Our audience has, and they're huge. I mean, you have by far the biggest turnout of all the patriots that we feature here that are building a parallel economy. You've got one coming up on Thursday, August 31st, a free training, I believe, at 3:00 p.m.
That's right. Yep.
Yeah. You want to give us a little insight on what it's available, gang. You just click on the link below and you can register. But you want to give us a little bit of a foretaste of what to expect at that free training? Yeah.
Well, it's like you said, it's Thursday, 3 p.m. Eastern. It's online. It's totally free. Just click the link below to register. We'll send you the emails, all that. We're also sending just a special thank you for registering. our full research on our top 2 picks right now. So you can see the depth of our research, what we do, what the stocks are that are seeing buying right now. But we're just kind of going to go step by step through this. We start with, a lot of examples. You kind of see how this works. We show you where the database is, how to use it, how to access these trades, the work we do for our members. A lot of people just don't, they say, look, this is great. I'm in. I need you to do the work for me. So we have an option to do that as well.
Right.
But, we just pull back the curtain and show people how it works. And
that's me. That's me, by the way. I don't have the time to look at all this. You guys do it. I trust you. You guys are awesome. It's amazing. It is neat. And I've sat through these free trainings that you've done. They're excellent. You make these complicated things so easy to understand.
Thank you.
Gang, I'm just going to tell you right now, you better register now because these things fill up fast. I mean, we've had thousands of our audience members come and attend Ross's seminars, his free training, and you're not going to want to miss it. This is going to really be a game changer for you, and it's going to bless your life. It's Thursday, August 31st, 3 p.m. Eastern. Click on the link below to register for it. The class is online. It's free for everyone to attend. All you got to do is click on the link in the description below to get your spot. But again, like I said, these are limited spots. So you don't want to be caught sleeping on this one. And you're going to get down in the nitty gritty with Ross, and I'll be there as well. And you'll be blown away at Ross's amazing investment strategy. It's blessed me. I know it's going to bless you. Ross, man, thanks so much for helping to make some sense of our crazy world here. I can't wait for the free training coming up on Thursday. It's always a pleasure to have you, my friend.
Dr. Steve, you're doing God's work. Keep it up, man. Always good to talk to you.
Right back at you.